If you ask the vast majority of people in the world whether or not life can be found on other planets and moons, you will get an unequivocal yes in response. Going back decades, and in many ways generations, we've been introduced to a slew of nice and bad extraterrestrials. Their presence pervades our entertainment and society, and we appear to have an almost natural belief, or is it hope, that we are not alone in the universe. But of course, the extraterrestrial presence on show is a work of fiction. There is no proof that alien life has ever visited our planet. No life beyond Earth has ever been discovered. Everything is a tale. Scientists, on the other hand, continue to search for life in the universe, sending new telescopes, rovers, and probes to look for habitable planets and extraterrestrial life. By investing so heavily in these studies, organizations such as NASA are sure that something will be discovered soon. NASA is currently interested in investigating how individuals will react if extraterrestrial life is discovered on other planets, as well as the implications for our beliefs about gods and creation. But how would NASA accomplish this? What exactly is the story about priests and imams becoming involved? With James Webb in space, have we finally discovered the aliens, or have the aliens discovered us? In today's video, we'll learn about NASA's preparations for an alien contact. Even though there have never been any definitive traces of life found on any other planet or exoplanet, the potential of extraterrestrial biology as well as the scientific rationale that supports it has become an increasingly conceivable prospect. That is possibly the single most significant achievement of the emerging subject of astrobiology, which is the comprehensive study of the beginnings of life on Earth and the hunt for life beyond Earth. An enormous body of science is being assembled to analyze and explain the origins, characteristics, and possible extraterrestrial dimensions of life by exploring and illuminating the world of extreme life on Earth, experimenting with how life here began, understanding more about the chemical makeup of the cosmos, testing for habitability on missions to Mars, Jupiter's moon Europa, Saturn's moon Titan, and beyond. And unlike popular culture's ETs and Starship Invaders, these findings are and will be genuine. Let us now ask ourselves the most fundamental questions. Are we alone in this universe? What is the dividing line between humans and aliens? What are the chances of finding sentient life in other places? These are some of the most fundamental issues, and scientists have spent years and billions of dollars trying to find solutions to them. Many space missions have been conducted to determine the presence of life on other planets. NASA now has 2 Mars rovers and several spacecraft orbiting Jupiter and Saturn. It also launched the James Webb Space Telescope, a $10 billion project that nearly took 3 decades to complete. It will investigate galaxies, stars, and planet forms in the universe, as well as the presence of life other than ours. With so much in space, scientists are certain of one thing: they will find extraterrestrial life. But after the discovery, what is the next step? According to a number of news outlets, NASA is said to have hired a team of theologians to help predict humanity's reaction to the discovery of alien life. Previously, rumors spread that NASA had engaged 24 experts through the Center of Theological Inquiry, CTI, in Princeton, New Jersey, whom several news outlets referred to as priests or clergy. NASA's plan is to find out how different religions around the world would react if they made contact with aliens. Reverend Dr. Andrew Davison, a British priest and Cambridge University theologian, is one of them. The Reverend holds an Oxford doctorate in biochemistry and has worked with NASA. He is also about to publish his book, Astrobiology and Christian Doctrine. He analyzes the prospect of God producing life elsewhere in the universe in the book and observes that non-religious individuals appear to overestimate the obstacles that religious people would face if confronted with proof of alien life. According to a copy of his book, a large number of people would turn to their religious traditions for guidance on what alien life means for the standing and dignity of human life, noting that detection of alien life might come in a decade, only in future centuries, or perhaps never at all. But if or where it does, it will be useful to have thought through the implications in advance. Other religious leaders, including Bishop of Buckingham Alan Wilson, Rabbi Jonathan Romaine of Maidenhead Synagogue, and Imam Qariasim of the Makkah Mosque in Leeds, have stated that the finding of alien life will have no impact on Christian, Jewish, or Islamic doctrine. Theologians were invited in to consider the implications of applying the tools of late 20th and early 21st century science to questions that have been considered in religious traditions for hundreds or thousands of years, according to Carl Pilcher, former head of NASA's Astrobiology Institute. That's just inconceivable when there are over 100 billion stars in this galaxy and over 100 billion galaxies in the universe, he remarked of Earth being the sole planet in space with life on it. In 2015, NASA awarded $1.1 million to the Center for Theological Inquiry for a mission to examine the social ramifications of discovering life beyond Earth. The group claimed in a press release at the time that the funds will be used to organize a multidisciplinary inquiry into the socio-economic consequences of the search for life in the universe. In order to investigate the social implications of the origins, evolution, distribution, and future of life in the universe, not all of the 24 participants were clerics. The center relied on religion, humanities, and social sciences, and the funding was for a 2-year term. Davinson noted in a 2019 blog post, "Who knows when or if that momentous news will break? If it does, we can be certain that it will not catch the Christian intellectual tradition off guard." While NASA provided funding for the effort, it did not hire anyone from it. NASA never directly employed the researchers who took part in the program, according to a space agency spokeswoman who spoke to the Associated Press. Individuals who receive NASA grant cash are not employees, advisors, or spokespersons for the agency, according to an email from a spokesperson to the press. As a result, the researchers and academics involved in this study were not hired by NASA, but rather obtained money for their work through CTI. According to Davinson, religious traditions would be an important feature in how humanity would work through any such confirmation of life elsewhere, according to a blog post on the University of Cambridge website. As a result, it is included as part of NASA's continuous goal to fund studies on the societal implications of astrobiology in collaboration with other partner organizations, including the Princeton Center for Theological Inquiry. According to Will Storer, CTI's director, the goal of the initiative was not to advise NASA, but to bring together humanities scholars to discuss studies in astrobiology, which is the scientific discipline that assesses the universe's potential to harbour life outside of Earth. Now, everyone wonders if NASA, which is preparing for an alien encounter on such a grand scale with the recently launched James Webb Space Telescope, has any information about the aliens. Scientists have developed incredibly practical methods for searching for extraterrestrials, though perhaps not the type of extraterrestrials one would expect. Several organizations are hunting for clues of past or present life on Mars and solar system worlds such as Europa, Titan, and Enceladus in their search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Biosignatures, which are cellular complexes or chemical molecules that suggest an ongoing biological process, are often sought after on exoplanets. With the recent launch of the James Webb Satellite Telescope, scientists hope to discover more about these alien worlds. JWST will be able to examine exoplanet atmospheres in great detail by viewing exoplanets as they revolve in front of their host star and observing their atmospheric properties during transit. This would aid in the detection of locations with unusually Earth-like atmospheres, which would make ideal hunting grounds for aliens. The JWST could identify signs of extraterrestrial life by determining whether the atmospheres of planets orbiting nearby stars are being altered by such life. Exoplanets have been discovered in large numbers during the last decade, especially with NASA's planet-hunting Kepler Space Observatory. JWST's strong sensors will be able to look at these planets in greater detail, including imaging their atmospheres in some cases. Understanding planet atmospheres and formation conditions can help scientists determine whether or not specific planets are habitable and whether or not life has previously existed on these worlds. It's a cosmic time machine capable of viewing galaxies and stars as recently as 100 million years after the Big Bang, the universe's unimaginably violent origin. It will investigate first light and reionization. This relates to the early stages of the cosmos after the Big Bang, when the universe as we know it now began. In the early stages after the Big Bang, the universe was a sea of particles such as electrons, protons, and neutrons, and light was not visible until the universe cooled sufficiently for these particles to begin mixing. JWST will also investigate what happened after the first stars emerged. This is known as the epoch of reionization, because it corresponds to the time when radiation from these early stars reionized, causing neutral hydrogen to have an electric charge again. With all of NASA's preparations for the encounter, there are suspicions that they have finally gotten their hands on something, and James Webb Space Telescope will be the final puzzle to that. Earlier this year, with the revelation of the Pentagon UFO report, aliens made a resurgence in the mainstream media. Despite the fact that government study on unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAP, did not confirm or deny alien visitors. The report's ambiguous results caused many to anticipate that their long-awaited disclosure was imminent. The rumour that NASA was considering hiring a church member only fueled the fury. What are your thoughts on NASA's preparations for the alien encounter? With all of the preparations, do you believe NASA has finally discovered the aliens? Please share your thoughts in the comments below.